Reese's peanut butter cups are the greatest, but let me play devil's advocate here. Let's see. So, no, that's a good thing. That's definitely not a problem. Reese's, you did it. You stumped this charming devil.
Welcome to Mom and Dad Are Fighting, Slate's parenting podcast for Monday, August 28th, the Phone a Friend edition. I'm Elizabeth Newcamp. I write the homeschool and family travel blog, Dutch Goose. I'm the mom of 3 littles, Henry, who's 11, Oliver, who's 9, and Teddy, who's 6. We live in Tokyo, Japan.
I'm Jamilah Lemieux. I'm a writer, contributor to Slate's Care and Feeding Parenting column, and I am mom to Naima, who is 10, and we live in Los Angeles.
I'm Zach Rosen. I make another podcast. It's called The Best Advice Show, and I'm dad to Noah, who's going to be 6 this week, and Ami, who is nearly 3. We live in Detroit.
On today's show, dealing with different phone rules among friends. Every family has different rules about phones, so what should parents do when a group of kids have to go by different rules? Our letter writer is looking for some guidance as she wades into unfamiliar territory. Then I'm going to take the seat as the letter writer because I've got a big back-to-school conundrum and I need some advice. We will end today by recommending the things we can't get enough of. That's all after this quick break.
This podcast is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you're driving, cooking, or doing laundry, Progressive knows the podcasts you listen to go best when they're bundled with another activity. Much like how their Progressive home and auto policies go best when they're bundled. Having these two policies together makes taking care of your insurance easier and could help you save too. Customers who save by switching their home and car insurance to Progressive save nearly $800 on average. That's a whole lot of savings and protection for your favorite podcast listening activities, like going on a road trip, cooking dinner, and even hitting the home gym. Yep, your home and your car are even easier to protect when you bundle your insurance together. Find your perfect combo. Get a home and car insurance quote at progressive.com today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $793 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2021 and May 2022. Potential savings will vary. We always want the best for our families, but kids grow so fast and buying them new back-to-school clothes really adds up. At Quince, it's not just luxury clothing at affordable prices, but for the whole family too. I just got a really cool coat. It's called the Organic Comfort Stretch Chore Jacket from Quince. It goes with like a t-shirt under, or I can dress it up with a shirt and slacks. It's a very versatile piece. I love chore jackets, and this black one that I just got is probably my new favorite one. Quince offers a range of high-quality items that kids and wallets love, like a 2-pack of organic cotton sweaters for the little ones, athleisure for back to school, and cashmere sweaters from $45 for the whole family. And here's the kicker. Quince adult and kids items are both priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Get luxury quality fashion at affordable prices for the whole family at Quince. Go to quince.com/momanddad for free shipping and 365-day returns on your order. That's QUINCE.com/momanddad and get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/momanddad.
Okay, let's dive into our listener question.
Dear Mom and Dad Are Fighting, I'm a longtime listener and mom of 2. My oldest is an 8-year-old and is going into 3rd grade. My daughter is good friends with the girl in her class who has an iPhone. Both my husband and I agree that our daughter does not need a cell phone at this time, and even when we determine when she will get a phone, it will have very limited capabilities, only talking, texting. In addition, we have restrictions around usage with screen time and time usage, whereas her friend seems to have very little restrictions. My question is, how do I continue to enforce our restrictions around technology when she currently has a friend and likely more friends in the future that don't have the same restrictions? Whenever the current friend is at our house, she always seems to be on her phone. Also, when my daughter is at her house, I'm concerned about what they could be viewing, social media usage, etc. Besides limiting time with this friend, do you have any other advice on how to handle it? I'm not very close with either of the parents who are divorced, so I don't know how to bring it up with them. Sincerely, phone problems.
So when this kid is at your house, you can make it a phone-free zone. You can totally say, Sarah doesn't have a phone. It's not really fair. We're going to ask that you put the phone away while you're visiting us. When your daughter's at the other child's house, however, you can't really legislate that. And your child is likely to see whatever this kid has access to on their phone. So the only way to effectively prevent that would be to limit their time together, unfortunately. But when someone else's kid has a phone, you don't really have jurisdiction over it except for at your own home.
Yeah.
What do you all think?
This is something that I'm completely dreading. As I see phones taking over my own psyche and everyone else's around me, like, this is such a tough issue. But I think that this situation might afford you to have a conversation with your kid, about phones, but also just about this idea that, like, we're all out here living by different rules, and it's really complicated. And, like, just because your friend can do this thing, like, we don't have the same rules at our house, and it gives you an opportunity to, like, think about, like, your mission statement as a family. Like, explain why is it that you don't want this phone around, and do it in a way that isn't like, it's going to turn your brain to mush, but, like, go through the reasons why you believe that your 8-year-old doesn't need a phone right now, and stick to it. I think, like, being confident in your policies, being clear about the reason why that policy exists is going to be super important. And, like, if your kid thinks that you're, like, super annoying and, like, have lame policies, like, that's fine. That's kind of the burden to bear as someone who, like, is standing up for something they believe in.
Yeah, I agree that having a discussion about why the rule exists is really important. And I've definitely found that, like, Henry is more likely to follow a rule that he understands the background, like, to when he's not with me. If this is super important to you, you are just going to have to talk to their parents, I think. And I just ask, like, hey, what are your rules on phones? What are your, right? And that may influence whether I say yes to being able to do something, or I just say, like, okay, this is a friend that we need to do stuff, like, outside of their house. But I also understand that, like, as they grow up, we have to send them out into the world. And I want him to know, one, that he can always use me as the bad guy, right? Like, hey, I can't do this. My mom says I can't. Yeah, they're totally lame, right? Like, that's totally fine with me. I am always happy to be thrown under the bus so that he can uphold something. Because I think a lot of time that's the thing. Like, he understands the rule, and he a lot of times genuinely wants to follow it, or knows why we have said, like, we don't want you to have access to this particular types of media or social media or whatever. But it's like, how do we empower him to get himself out of that situation? I think one of the things is, when you set these hard and fast rules, you have to be careful that you haven't closed a door to communication on the issue. So I have also, always said, if you go somewhere and you guys are doing stuff, I just want to hear about it. Or if you see stuff that, you're not sure about, I want to be the person that you talk to. And I'm never going to be mad when you report something that happened to me, so that I can help you, process it, or, make a different decision next time. So making sure that it's not going to be a situation where you say, don't do this, and then, your child comes home and is like, hey, we watched this, or we were on Instagram and this happened, and then you're mad, well, how we have this rule. It's like, okay, you have to be able to empathize that, like, these other kids have phones and they are doing stuff, and it doesn't feel great to be left out and be the kid that doesn't have them. So I think you're really trying to balance, like, that open communication, ceding some of that control. I completely agree with Jamilah that, like, cosign when they're at your house, just say there are no phones. I think make sure, like, they can receive a phone call from their parents and they can check in. But when we've had friends that have phones over in Colorado, we would always just say, like, hey, we leave our, like, devices on the counter, and if you need to use it, you're welcome to use it here in the kitchen. Kind of where I am and life is happening.
When you've had other kids at your house, Liz, and asked them just to use their phones, like, in that one room when they're on the counter, do you ever get any pushback from the other kids?
No, but they're still young, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I think in general, we've sort of like, a lot of our friends were, homeschooled, and even those that weren't, like, I'm friends with most of the parents. We have not been in a situation yet in which, like, I don't feel comfortable talking to a parent. And I would say that when kids come to our house, are going to come for the first time, I almost always call, text, email the parent, and I'm like, we do not have firearms in the house. I do not allow, like, phones or whatever in their room with the door closed. Like, I do not, like, listing my rules for them, because when people do that
smart.
for me, it makes my life so much easier.
Yeah, totally.
And I just think if that makes someone feel awkward, like, they probably weren't a good match for us anyway.
Mm-hmm. Right on.
Jamilah, have you had this happen? Because I think, like, Naima, it seems like of all of us, Naima has the most access to a phone because she, at this point, seemingly needs it the most too. But, like, what are you doing about these rules and friends? And
it hasn't been an issue. Naima has a phone. Her friends have phones. It seems like everyone has a phone. So I do try to reduce the amount of time they spend on the phone when they're together. Like, if she's having a play date, like, you all are not going to spend the entire time playing on the phone, because you all could have done that from your respective houses. Yeah. I'm just trying to keep an eye on them, see what they're watching.
There's, like, value in that too, just knowing, like, well, what are they doing on there? We've had a couple interviews about technology, and one of the takeaways from that has been, that our job as parents is to guide them in this technology, not only limit it, like, that is one of our functions, but that we also need to be there to be a guide. So I do think, like, you can also, Jamilah, like you're saying, you can use the opportunity of having those there to help be a guide to this world that we can protect them from, but not forever. It's tough, though. I don't really know that we, like, any of us know the answer to this. It seems daunting. And I always think on this, I'm, like, hindered by the fact that, like, I don't feel like I have a good handle on, like, my own phone dependency and usage. So it's like, I want them to do, don't look at me, be better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for writing in phone problems. I'm sure you're not alone, so we would love to know what's working for the rest of y'all. Let us know how you handle phone time by leaving us a voicemail with your recommendation. That number is 646-357-9318. That's also where you can send us your questions. We're going to take another quick break, and then we'll be back with my own conundrum.
K-12 powered schools can help your child start reaching their full potential in life now and give you the support you need to get them there. K-12 powered schools are tuition-free, online accredited public schools for kindergarten through 12th grade, designed to help your child to learn at their own pace and in their own place with an engaging curriculum that supports individual learning styles. K-12 powered schools' state-certified teachers are trained online educators, and they utilize hands-on, innovative technology to make learning interactive. K-12 powered schools even offer social opportunities, extracurricular activities, and in-person events. K-12 has more than 20 years' experience helping students gain the skills they truly need to thrive in the future. Join the more than 2 million families who have been served by K-12 and empower your students to reach their full potential now. Go to k12.com/momanddad today to learn more and find a tuition-free K-12 powered school near you. That's the letter K, the number 12.com/momanddad. k12.com/momanddad.
What's up? It's Kaylee Cuoco. When it comes to travel, we all have a happy place. I just went to my happy place. I just went to Maui, and it was truly amazing. Priceline has always been about getting you to your happy place for a happy price with deals you really can't find anywhere else. Like up to 60% off select hotels in Costa Rica or 5-star hotels for 2-star prices in Cabo.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
What are they doing letting us in a place this nice?
Now streaming on Hulu, John Cena and Lil Rel Howery are bringing trouble to paradise.
Guys, I need you to be really cool.
When have we ever not been cool?
Vacation Friends 2 on Hulu. And there's more.
I want some more.
When you add Disney Plus to Hulu for just $2 more a month.
Hallelujah!
With Blackish, Deadpool 2, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
And you're just telling me now?
The Hulu and Disney Plus bundle. Plans starting at just $9.99 a month. All of these and more now streaming. 18 plus only. Access content from each service separately. Offer valid for eligible subscribers only. Terms apply.
Okay, guys, I need some help.
We're here for you.
So here's the deal. The kids started back at school. Teddy, the 6-year-old, Henry, the 11-year-old in middle school. Great first days. Oliver, 9, my tender-hearted child, walks out of school and is like doing the potty dance, and he's 9, and I'm like, hey man, like, do you have to go to the bathroom? Like, we have a train ride home. And he's like, yeah. And I said, okay, run back in school and go to the bathroom. He's like, oh, I can't. I'm going to lose my recess. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? And he's like, no, if I use the bathroom, I'm going to lose my recess. I'm like, okay, leave me your book bag, go run inside and go to the bathroom. When you come back, we'll discuss. So we're on the walk home, and he's telling me that the rule in his classroom is that if they use the bathroom during class time, for each time they go, they owe the teacher 2 minutes of time during their lunch or recess, like back. And so as a result, he didn't go to the bathroom all day. He went during lunch and then didn't go again until I picked him up at close to 4, which is like so unhealthy. It's also very warm here. And he's drinking lots of water.
Yeah.
Building's air conditioned, but yeah, so not healthy. Jeff's reaction, of course, is like, Oliver has the rule wrong. So I'm like, okay, that's definitely possible. I emailed the teacher, hey, Oliver had a great day. Thanks so much. He's confused about the bathroom policy and as a result didn't use the bathroom today. She emails me back and I'm thinking she's going to be like, oh, sorry, there was a misunderstanding. Instead, she's like, children are free to use the bathroom at any time during the day. If they use the bathroom during my class time, they owe me 2 minutes at lunch and recess. Okay. Compound this with, and this is all just first day. I open his lunchbox and he hasn't eaten very much because he's not used to only having, I think they have like 10 to 15 minutes to eat their lunch, probably less than that. He is used to having much more time. So he also seemingly has not eaten very much today.
Yeah.
I, of course, just spiral. I write this email that is like, I care about bladder health and I care about him needing, this is a bodily function and you can't punish, kids for bodily functions. And Jeff is like, we need to slow our roll. Let's just wait till Friday and you can send the email on Friday. So I did talk to Oliver and we came up with a plan like, hey, when we first get to school, you need to go to the bathroom. But of course, there's we're coming from the train and he's not used to the school schedule. So he's also nervous about being late because they've been if you're not in the classroom by this time and he has to change shoes, all of these things. So here's the question. Do I send this email, which I think is slightly passive aggressive? I basically say you need to reevaluate your policy. Do I just let it go? Do I schedule a meeting? Am I overreacting and he'll be fine?
I think you send the email and request a meeting.
Okay.
Especially considering that they have such a short amount of time for lunch anyway, that to lose some of that time could mean not being able to eat at all.
Yeah.
And what happens if he has a big poop? I mean, kids have to go to the bathroom during the day. I understand that this policy was designed to discourage them from playing around in there and, wasting classroom time. But kids need to feel free and safe to use the bathroom no matter what, full stop.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, as a kid with irritable bowels, this whole dilemma gives me anxiety. I hate this policy. It's not right.
No, me too. I mean, it is such a red flag to me. I mean, my initial draft of the email is you should not use the way to gain control of your classroom is not taking authority over someone else's body.
Yep. I totally agree.
Here's the question. Okay, I've sent the email. I'm going to request a meeting. What is my goal that she change the policy? Do we feel like that is realistic?
I mean, if that's not the goal, what would be the goal?
I don't know.
But
I just feel like
I think it's a bad policy. I don't have
experience with dealing with teachers. This is, I feel like my whole hope. This is I homeschool, so that this is not a problem. The lawyer in me wants to go right to the principal, which we've already been told don't do. Go through the teacher. So I get that. I need to go to the teacher. But my brain is thinking I'm going to get a doctor's note. I'm going to get someone. I'm going to send our interview. I mean, there are many. There's an Atlantic article on
Here's
this.
a link to my podcast.
There's lots of studies.
I need you to do
here's
some
my
soul
podcast
searching.
Jamilah, have you met with a teacher and successfully gotten something changed? I just feel like she's going to be like, this is the way I teach.
What's the fallout of asking her to shift the policy? She can say no. It's just the way I teach. And then you're back where you already are.
Well, no, then I'm going to the principal. I mean, listen, I can't help but have a fight about this, but
I think this is worth fighting for. I would.
Okay.
I would totally be in there with you.
Yeah.
The end of the letter, I sort of, the big argument with Jeff and I with the email has been this last paragraph where I say, so I lay out like why I think this is a bad policy. I also lay out that although her email says like, I would never punish a student, for going to the bathroom, I just take 2 minutes of their time. Like, hey,
right.
That is a punishment.
Literally what you're doing.
Whether it also like sets up this hierarchy that somehow like her instruction time is more important than my child's like natural urges, like within his body, listening to his own body, and also more important than like healthy eating. It's also more important than moving his body. None of which I agree with, and none of which the school policy. This also is not the school policy. My other two kids have perfectly reasonable bathroom policies.
Oh, interesting.
Like
at the same school.
Yes, it's not the school policy. I checked.
No, I think you can fight this policy, and you can do it without being tyrannical about it. Like you can do it, in a measured way, but no, this is worth fighting for.
In
Absolutely.
the email, do I say like I'm asking you to change your policy, or I just write this out and say I'd love to come in and meet with you?
I might go with the latter.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listeners, I would also love to hear from you. So let me know what you would do. Have you done this before? Any tips on how to, respectfully make my teacher change her rules? You can email us at momanddad@slate.com, or of course send us a voicemail. I would love to hear your voice. That would just make me feel better. Also, if you are equally as spun up about this, let me know. I love being spun up with other people, so let me know. 646-357-9318. All right, it's finally time to move on to recommendations. Jamilah, what are you loving right now?
So we pretty much like exclusively drink water in our house. We don't keep many other beverages around. I tend to have mixers that rarely get mixed, but in general, we are water drinkers. But every once in a while, I want a little juice. And I have to say, I'm really loving Simply Lemonade Light or Simply Light Lemonade, particularly the raspberry variety. It's got 25 calories. It's made with stevia, and it really tastes like that good, sweet pink lemonade you grew up drinking.
Yum.
Like that country time. Camp always.
Oh, country time.
Stuff. I'm sure that was terrible for us, but it was so good.
So good.
Zach, how about you? What are you loving?
I'm loving this book, Jazz Baby. The author is Lisa Wheeler. The illustrator is R. Gregory Christie. And it's like a book that you can sing in scat. Here, I'll read you a page. It's like, brother's arms hold, sister's arms hug, rock-a-bye and baby so warm and snug. Grandpa smiles wide, Granny smiles too. Drowsy dozy baby sings la la loo. So you can really get into the performance of it. Ami loved this. We were at a friend's house and we read it for the first time the other day. I want it. It's really a sweet, sweet book. It was written in 2007. Great illustrations, and I feel like now I'm gonna like start playing him some like Nina Simone, and this is like he's gonna be a jazz guy now.
Oh, I love this.
What are you recommending, Elizabeth?
I am recommending a phone strap, which is like how everyone is carrying their phones here, and maybe everyone in the States is doing it too, and I just didn't know. I just got the Cape phone strap, but they make like a bunch of different kinds. This is just the one I ended up with. But they are amazing. So they are, maybe less amazing for men that have lots of pockets, but it is like almost like a side, carry for my phone, but it makes it super easy for me to use, like Google Maps, do all of that while I'm holding the kids without worrying about like putting it back in my purse. I can just kind of drop it to the side. It has just made life so easy. Mine has a little like coin. I got one that a coin purse attaches to too, which is great because the Japanese use a lot of coins. It has just been like a lifesaver. I feel like the first few weeks here, I was like constantly looking for my phone because it's got our transportation pass on it and our, like I need to pull ID out for things. And now it's all just like strung right there. I still carry a little purse for all my other stuff. But when I take a picture and I drop it, it's still attached to me. I feel like just a mom lifesaver. So I'm recommending, if you're out and about, busy parent, a phone strap.
Cool.
That's it for our show. Please subscribe, leave a rating and review, and of course, tell your friends. This episode of Mom and Dad Are Fighting is produced by Rosemary Belson and Maura Currie. Shasha Leonard is the voice of our listeners. Alicia Montgomery is VP of Slate Audio. For Zach Rosen and Jamilah Lemieux, I'm Elizabeth Newcamp. Thanks for listening.
Hey everybody, it's Tim Heidecker. You know me, Tim and Eric, Bridesmaids, and Fantastic Four. I'd like to personally invite you to listen to Office Hours Live with me and my co-hosts, DJ Doug Pound.
Hello.
And Vic Berger.
Howdy.
Every week we bring you laughs, fun, games, and lots of other surprises. It's live. We take your Zoom calls.
Music.
We love having fun. Excuse me?
Songs. Vic said something.
Songs.
Music.
I like having fun. I like to laugh. I like to meet people who can make me laugh. Please subscribe now.